Hey everyone! What would you do if you found a little alien in your backyard? Would you freak out, get to its home planet? Over here you can see a little image of that little alien, and his name's Echo. And there's a brand new movie coming to theaters Wednesday, July 2nd, and all of you can check it out. I'll have a link below and a link here. And before you get started, I'll show a little clip now, and let's roll that clip.
Did you hear that?
Hey, wait, hold on, be careful.
Whoa, whoa! There's something in there right now.
What is that?
Whoa, what is that?
What is that?
Are those eyes?
So it's looking pretty awesome. And the name of the movie is Earth to Echo. And if you're going to VidCon this year, at the end of the month, on June 27th, there will be a special screening of this movie. And you can actually click the link here, the annotation, and show the full trailer. And also in the description below will be a link to see more about VidCon and what the movie's about. So definitely check it out, all of you. I think all the fans will like it. And without further ado, let's roll this How to Draw video. Thanks, everyone. Hey everyone, Steven here, and today I'm going to teach you how to draw Anna from Frozen. Real excited, real popular characters, but real quick before we start, if you all can, please let me know in the comments below, message me, but just what do you want to see with the future episodes, what direction you want to take the videos, my channel, you want quicker videos, more speed sketches, please let me know, because it helps me to get more views and it helps more people come in and really helps grow the community. So that's a huge thing, and just let me know what all you want and I'll try my hardest to get to it, and let's get started on this. So usually when I start doing a drawing, most of the time I'm using a reference, and the reason is, one, you learn from it, but also if I see an image online and I just fall in love with it, I just really want to draw it, and I feel like it's something that you all would love to see drawn too, and you have your own drawing of it. So that's kind of the thing, and I saw this image of Anna, and I just love it. It's very fluid, it's very fun, and the artist who did it just really amazing. Really captures her personality and spirit, and kind of a sketchy style. But real quick to start, just kind of start with the sketch, the circle, and something to keep in mind, which I really kind of mentioned, but I don't think I mentioned too much, is you want to have loose lines. You don't want to have stiff lines. So just experiment with having no fear, really no fear, and just going at your drawings with that idea. But see how big the head is? And all I'm doing is kind of outlining. I'm not doing any major shapes. Just put an ear here. And the thing is, as you draw more and more, you get used to the shapes, and you can see how there's kind of a face forming here. Very loose, very sketchy. But like I said, a lot of people, they'll start with the circle, but like, you do start with the circle, but as you draw more and more, you get used to what something's going to look like in the shapes. And I'm just making down the neck, and real simply, just see how I'm making loose lines. Nothing fancy, just keeping it loose, sketchy. And then, where she's got her hair that flows down. All I'm going to do to capture the flow of the hair for now, I'm just doing simple shapes and kind of marks down here, and then a little thing where it comes out and it comes out frizzy. So all I'm doing is marking the areas, because the biggest battle when it comes to drawing is always the start. Because if you get a good start, and that's something I emphasize, if your start is good, if you have good proportions. See what I did here? Very light sketch, but like I was saying, if you have a good start, good proportions, if things are in line from the start where you can see it as an artist, you don't have to worry about anyone else understanding what the start is, but where you could see it. See, I'm just making the flow of the hair and things. And that's the most important key. If you could see what's going on, and you've got your proportions in line, and shapes and everything that looks kind of good for you. Then the rest is the fun part. The rest, I mean, the whole drawing is fun, but then the rest, I rather should say, is the easier part, because you're spending more time on having fun. Maybe you're coloring, you're shading, and you're not worrying about working on those things. And see how we just have this real simple shape. There's the head. And you know, you can make an eye line, because the eyes will kind of come in there. And where the nose falls, kind of on this line. And remember, the head is tilted at an angle, so you're going to see part of this eye back here. And the reason for the middle line is just kind of where the nose falls on. And the biggest thing is, you know, you want it to look accurate, proportions and anatomy and all that. But you also want to have its own flow, its own feel to the character. And see, I'm just sketching where the eyes would be. Then kind of the nose would come down. And look how, like I said, very sketchy. And then the nose. Might even make this nose a little smaller. And that's the fun part, you know, you're just playing around. But say nose, and you know, a big part of it is you have to get familiar with anatomy. You got to get familiar with proportions. But also a big part also is just getting more comfortable with drawing in general. Kind of like that. And this eye, notice how this eye kind of starts here. So this eye, see how this eye kind of falls into this space over here. You can just make a very simple eye shape if you want. Just, you know, just an outline shape. We're going to fine tune things. But definitely make sure the hair looks good, and then eyebrows come out around here. Real skinny eyebrows. You know, right now it looks kind of like a mess, because it is kind of like a mess, because you're just, and there's so many ways. This is the way I prefer to kind of go about things, depending on what I'm sketching. But then the lips. And see, you got basic little face here. Because the biggest issue is you don't, because if your shapes and proportions are wrong from the start, then you're just going to keep drawing over it, and it's going to look horrible. It's going to turn like a mess. So you always got to keep that in mind. Basic shapes and things come first. Now that we got that, I'm just going to kind of erase lines I don't need, and then we'll pick up from there. So basically, you see now, the lines are erased. All those guidelines that are used, they're erased. And, you know, that initial sketch maybe took like 4 or 5 minutes. And, of course it helps when you're more familiar with drawing these types of things. But also, you know, you just get an idea. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the hairlines first. Now, I'm not gonna do any finished lines now. I just want to show you how you do the rest of the drawing by doing that first little sketch. But you can see what happens is, as you start to do it and you start to do more and more, you get more comfortable, and things will flow better. And also, like I said, the initial sketch goes so much quicker, and then you can double check. And I erased a lot of things, I marked areas. And of course it's hard when you're doing these lessons, because, you know, you have to worry about other things than just drawing. It's like, I have to worry about, is the camera on? Is it on? Oh man, I better check right now actually. Is it recording? And then I gotta check, you know, is it focus good? And so there's a lot of factors, because when I draw in my sketchbook are just for fun, you know, it's a lot less stressful in that regard. But see, I'm just going over the hair because it's kind of the top layer. But now that you got that, you can kind of work these lines in, loose lines and sketchy. But the areas you want to really get right are the eyes and nose. But here, see how it's got a nice nose line of the nose. I made it a little too high. And don't be afraid if you make mistakes. I mean, the eraser is your best tool also. But see, just arches that line, and the nose comes out, and just kind of like that. See that? And here, there's like a little line and some value. You can make it kind of stylistic, but something like that where it's coming out. And of course, we're going to add the finishing touches later. But for the eyes, see how the arches upward? These nice eyelashes, and they just kind of flick out like that. See how they flick out? And once again, I'm going to retouch things, you know, just like I always do. But very important, you want to make this eye like it's looking towards you. And see where the forehead connects. Like I said, when you get drawing faces more, see how forehead kind of wraps? And you got this nice little eyebrow. Real skinny lines. I'm just kind of making these little lines in. See, like that. And eye, pupil, and there's a reflection. Make the reflection a little smaller. So pupil. And see how it's just forming? And the thing with me is I never like to, even while I'm in this initial phase, I sometimes am afraid to commit to lines because, you know, it's 5 times easier to change it. It's 1,000 times easier to get it right and to have to erase if you do. But see that? The same little area. Notice how this eye is a little bigger. It's got arch. And the pupil. Like I said, that eye's a little bigger because it's closer to you. And same little area highlight. And right there. Like that. And the eyelashes again. And these are kind of thicker. You know, just play around with that and thicker on the top than the bottom. So I'm going to go back in. And then the lip, it's like a little line. Then real skinny line. So that comes up. And notice how I'm just keeping it stylistic. It's not... Notice how the lines are all flowing. They're not stiff. They're not... nothing stiff. They're all kind of have their own flow to it. And see, right there you have her face. And I mean, it's nothing fancy right now. It's just a little sketch. Of course, I'm working on it more. But just so you all can see how you can kind of get better at drawing, you know, just doing then the eyebrows. You can make little lines through the eyebrows just to show. And of course, I'm going to fill in the eyes later like that. But for the hair, make a little flick coming out. I like the flick coming out on this side like that. And then maybe a little strand sticking up because that's how it is in the image. I love the image I'm looking at. Then basically, you know, just bring the hair down like right here. I'm going to make this arch up a little more. Kind of like that, so it's got more arch. See that? And then her dress, arch upward, and then maybe another little line. And the hair will be covering it. And what I always say, you know, I always emphasize this. When you're looking at references, don't just copy the reference. I mean, don't worry about it. You don't want to copy it line for line because you're not really learning. If you want to learn and improve, you look at the reference, then you kind of say, well, this is this way because that's how noses are drawn. Noses are in that way. It's kind of like, you have to think of it like you're always adding something to your mental library, if that makes sense. It's like the first time you draw a face and then you redraw and do it 100 times. You're always learning, you're adding notes to your mental library. But see what I'm doing with the braids here? Just kind of arching one end and another here. And notice how they just get skinnier, but they kind of like little marks. And towards the end here, notice there's a little middle line. There's other ways you can design hair braids. Let's say it's just kind of like a line in the middle. But what I want to really show you, which is important, is as you get towards the end, notice how they kind of get smaller and smaller. And also make the flow of the hair just follow this direction. You want the hair to look really pretty, really just flowing. Not too many strands when you're drawing hair. If you overcomplicate with strands, it won't look as good. So that's the thing. But see, I'm just adding a few here or there. This is a horrible one. Just play around with the strands like that. Of course, you'll shade the hair in. Then for the body, where it comes down, make a real thick line. Kind of thicker outline. But look how beautiful these lines are just flowing. And that's the big thing. You want to keep it like that. Like that. And then where the little thing connects, these little zigzag lines. Like that. And then just make a couple of strands. So you see, notice how they're not sharp at the end. Right there, and then a line here where she's got the outfit, and then those little cotton ball-like shapes of the outfit. And you can play around with that as well. It doesn't have to be exact. Oh, like that there, and then her dress has a little symbol. Then on this side, same thing. These beautiful lines that kind of curve in, curve out, and look how loose the lines are getting. That's why I can't stress. Definitely play around with lines. Don't be afraid to get messy. Don't be afraid to create loose lines. That's something I often forget. But you see, and that's basically how you draw Anna, you know, in someone's style. And I'm gonna speed it up now and kind of outline the lines and values. But that's it. And all you gotta do is add blemishes, you know, the little marks on the facial cheeks and the nose, and that's about it, everyone. Thanks, everybody, and let's speed this baby up.